Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Fall 2022 Graduate Program Coordinators Information Session. It is wonderful to see many of you in person and also the attendees who are joining us virtually. And thank you for joining with us. This afternoon, I shall provide a comprehensive summary of our accomplishments for the past 2 years. It is 50 slides, so please bear with me. And I deeply appreciate your passion and your service for graduate studies here at Western Kentucky University. Before I begin my presentation, I'd like to introduce my team who work very hard to provide high quality services to faculty, staff, current students, prospective students, and students who have graduated. I'm deeply grateful to them for their commitment and for their conscientious work. And in alphabetical order, I ask Ms. Barbara Chaffin. So Ms. Barbara Chaffin is helping us with graduate admissions, and we process about anywhere from 3,000 to 4,000 applications a year to individuals. And so we are deeply grateful for Ms. Chaffin for her high quality of work. Joining our operations earlier this month on September the 1st is Ms. Jamie DeYoung. She serves as the Assistant Director of Graduate Operations. She'll be overseeing graduate records and graduate application, which I shall allude to later. So we're grateful to have soon to be Dr. DeYoung. She is pursuing her PhD and plans to defend before the end of this calendar year. So I'm really delighted to have her on our team. Not with us today is Ms. Elizabeth or Lizzie Doer. She's our office coordinator, started as office associate last year, and unfortunately could not join with us. She helps, among many things, with taking the minutes of the Graduate Council, and the Graduate Council members may recognize her name. I'm pleased to introduce Dr. Scott Gordon, the manager for recruitment and retention. And we'll talk about our recruitment efforts that we have focused since July 1st, 2020. Ms. Julie Harris, I'd like to recognize her. She, along with Ms. Barbara Chaffin, helps with processing our graduate admissions in a timely manner. Ms. Samantha Hines is a new addition to both the Office of Research. You have to turn back. She's always trying to do 1,000 things at the same time. And so the success of today's event is largely due to her careful planning and help with event management. Ms. Lisa Myers is in the graduate records, and she'll be working very closely, or is working, I should say, with Ms. DeYoung. And again, she has taken a large share of the burden when Dr. Colette Shelf left us in February, and I'm grateful for her contributions in stepping up, and she's a graduate records specialist. Managing our business operations, processing graduate assistantships, tuition, waiver, etc., is Ms. Renee Purdy. And she joined our operations on October the 7th last year, taking over from Ms. Shanda Spencer. Another key individual who comes to our graduate school staff meetings is Ms. Gina Johnson. She works for ITS and is integral to the success of many of our processes and automation that we have performed or continue to do so. And so I'd like to recognize her as well. I'd also like to take a moment to recognize the Graduate Council members. It's truly been a privilege and honor to get their quality feedback, and I'm heartened to see they're passionate for graduate education. If you are a former or a current Graduate Council member, would you please stand up and be recognized? And also the graduate school staff. Please give a shout out to these fabulous individuals. So it takes a village to advance graduate education, something that I'm deeply, deeply passionate about. And I'm privileged and honored to be in the company of these wonderful faculty and staff. Thank you again for being with us. So in the next few slides, I'll talk about what we have accomplished in the past 2 years and also lay out the vision that I have. The strategic plan provides a roadmap for us, climbing to greater heights, and the activities that intersect research and creative scholarship and graduate education is indicated in this slide. The first bullet point is italicized, that is relevant to the discussions today. The stature of WKU's graduate school needs to be improved and to strengthen its external reputation. And so is the fiscal support. And you'll see in one of the later slides how we have elevated WKU's reputation nationally and internationally through some service contributions, primarily by me and Dr. Gordon. The fiscal challenges continue to plague us, but we are in the right direction, and it can only get better. I like to use this slide for my presentations. If you are passionate about graduate education, I'd like you to know about the Council of Graduate Schools. CGS is something that you will have to know. And I have known this organization since 2006, but especially since 2016, I have been active in many activities of the CGS. It's very clear that the competitiveness of our nation hinges upon a strong graduate education system. And this is a talking point to administrators, to legislators, and this is a report, The Path Forward. It is 12 years old, but it's still timely. And perhaps I will share this report as an addendum to a future Graduate Council meeting. And so this slide is something that I use all the time, and this is a talking point to your legislators as well. Why do you invest in graduate education? It's fundamentally our nation's capacity to pursue high quality research, entrepreneurship depends upon highly qualified graduate students in faculty supporting that mission. So going from a national and international to something local regionally, this is another slide that has talking points about the public good of graduate education. Graduate students do a lot of things we may not fully recognize. Our K-12 teachers are one classic example of how a master's degree or a credential helps them train elementary, middle school, and high school. So this is taken from a Forbes article and also from the Council of Graduate Schools, Graduate Education and the Public Good. There is a link here from a former president of Missouri State University, Dr. Michael Nitzel, who writes frequently in Forbes.com, and he talks about the societal benefits of graduate education. I strongly urge you to look at that link and use those as talking points to advocate to stakeholders as to why we need robust funding of graduate education. So going from national locally, how does things look here in the Commonwealth of Kentucky? The table on your left has Kentucky and its contiguous states, 7 of them. Census data for adults between 25 to 34 indicate that less than 10% have a graduate or a professional degree. So that is a challenge, and I look at it as an opportunity for us, an opportunity to advocate to CPE and to other bodies and to the General Assembly that we need to invest in graduate education. Statistics, I'm driven by data to make decisions, and this is a powerful talking point for all of us in this room and for others as well. If you look at the nation, you look at the trend, Kentucky and United States, in terms of the masters, we have 6.7% of the population, slightly below that of the national average, and likewise in professional and doctorate programs, we underperform compared to the United States for people 25 years and older. So this is again some data that you could use to show that we need high-paying jobs in the Commonwealth of Kentucky, and that can be attained by high-quality graduate programs here from the 5 academic colleges. I will share a recording of this next week, and so you will have access to the slides. So what are the 3 big trends driving graduate education? One is demographic, growing racial and ethnic diversity. Just as a data point for the first point here in the slide, close to 50% of the graduate students who are currently in a graduate program have received Pell Grants during their undergraduate studies. That is 10% more compared to about a decade ago. And that shift is going to see, and it's going to impact because they may not have the economic power to fully support their graduate education. So we need to think about creating partnerships, differential tuition, et cetera, for them to afford a graduate education and hence in their socioeconomic prosperity. This leads to the segue. Cost and pricing is an important factor. The College of Education and Behavioral Services has come with an innovative P12 educator discount. If you look at their enrollment numbers, they are up by about 100 students in the P12 category. So each of us need to think what creative opportunities lie in cost and pricing to afford the citizens of the Commonwealth of Kentucky a high quality graduate education program. Technology is going to be a key factor as well. Online modality, especially after COVID, has expanded our opportunities to deliver courses and programs completely online. And now we are going to have augmented and virtual reality, enhancing that student experience so they can actually feel if they are in a real setting, for example. So these 3 are the primary drivers that will shape graduate education in the coming decade. There is a nice quote from Suzanne Ortega, the president of the Council of Graduate Schools, who talks about why we need rigorous training, particularly doctorally prepared scientists in this new world. And this was actually a quote when she made visiting the campus of the University of South Dakota for a new series that I initiated called the Graduate Dean Distinguished Lecture Series, which I have not yet started here because you'll see I have had my hands full. But it's a nice quote talking once again about why in this globally networked community, we need to invest in graduate programs increasingly in the coming years. This leads to the graduate school. What do? We serve as a liaison for faculty and staff and as a resource. We are a service unit and we take that designation very seriously. And many of you know our strong work ethics, especially mine. Dr. Bonus is here. She can fully allude to how quickly I respond if it is a weekend or late night, and I deeply appreciate all of you for your efforts as well. I have the onerous task of ensuring that the graduate catalog and the graduate policies are fulfilled. That is my task. So if an individual or a program or a department is disappointed when an academic appeal is denied, I'm just doing my job. So there is a hidden message here. And so I have to ensure that I am ensuring that the graduate catalog is, and the policies associated with, are fully complied with. Exceptions should be far and few between. If it is becoming the norm, then we have to relook at our graduate policies, and that is a struggle I've had for a number of years here. All right, so let us look at an org chart. This is our current team now. I have a typo here. It should be Samantha Hines, and I apologize for it. Samantha actually works for both the Office of Research and the Graduate School, and like me, and I often joke, I work for 2 offices and I'm paid half the money. It's also true for Samantha as well. So we have a team of 9 individuals, 8 FTEs, 7 full-time FTEs, and 0.5 FTEs. That's how we are. For a student body of today, our enrollment numbers were 2,054. Our census will be in about 4 weeks' time. Our census numbers for fall 2021 was 2021 students. So we have at least stabilized our enrollment. So we are trying to support 2,000 students, 3,000 to 4,000 prospective students, faculty and staff across campus with just 8 of us, 8 FTEs. So just bear that in mind. How did we look a few years ago? That's here. We lost 6 positions, 4 FTEs. We don't have a recruitment coordinator, so it falls upon Dr. Gordon, on me, on Ms. Harris. Sometimes she travels, Ms. Lucy Dorr. And we have hired 2 graduate student diversity ambassadors to help with recruitment efforts. We had an associate dean who would look at some of the appeals, but that is done primarily by me and Ms. Lisa Myers and soon Ms. Jamie DeYoung. We also had a graduate admissions director, but that's now done by 2 full-time staff, Ms. Julie Harris and Barbara Chaffin. Likewise, in the records area, we lost a key position, and office associate too, we had an extra help. So we are trying the best as we can, given the resources, given the priorities. And I come asking for your grace, understanding, and patience if we cannot respond to you within a minute, or sometimes within a day, or within a week as well. We just are having a high workload, and we have to prioritize and balance. All right, now we'll go to the recruitment phase, and I'll use some information from Raffaello Noah Levitz. RNL is used by undergraduate admissions for their recruitment activities. We don't have the money, but we piggyback on a partnership that I shall talk about later. If you look at recruitment activities, we need to come together and work collaboratively. Otherwise, it's a missed opportunity from my perspective. You'll notice that SEO stands for Search Engine Optimization, organic lead generation. That's where 24% of the students apply to your programs. If your website does not have information about your programs very clearly, how long will it take to complete your degree? How much will it cost? And what are the student outcomes? You have lost that student. If it's rich with text, no one reads text. Our attention span is limited. So I have some ideas for you. We, on our end, our first project actually was to do an audit of our website. So Dr. Gordon, myself visited with marketing and communications, and they did an audit of our website and suggested changing keywords, moving some of our tabs, etc. And we have optimized our SEO, and that is an ongoing activity. So I would strongly encourage each of you and your programs to think of to work with marketing and communications and to do a website audit. It'll be a telling sign of what needs to be done to improve. So we have done that part, and it's a constant thing we have to do. We just don't change the website once. So we need current content, and some of it I actually discussed at the Student Success Summit previously. Digital advertising is another key strategic plan to increase our applications and our enrollment. So we have focused on those 2 in the first few years, and there are some partnerships that programs have set up. So this just gives you an idea of the graduate student leads by source, and so we need to focus on what these experts in the industry tell, and that's what rightly we have done from our end. And you'll notice that there are multiple sources, and the first 2 are the highest priority. The location-based IP targeting is something that I'll talk about later that we have done. And so among all these, we have looked at these evidence-based practices suggested by the industry, and we are touching or we have prioritized our tasks depending on how to deploy lead generation tactics or strategies. Again, I'm using evidence-based practices. I don't like the word best practices. It doesn't mean best for whom. There has to be evidence that your practice works. It works at a regional comprehensive master's university in Missouri, or in a rural state. Perhaps it will work in the Commonwealth of Kentucky. And that's how I make informed decisions on how to prioritize tasks. So recruitment was up front and center during our first 2 years, building upon the knowledge from our from RNL as an example. So digital marketing, these are just some display ads that our marketing and communications, university marketing and communications developed for us. Our first goal was to create brand awareness of the graduate programs. You'll notice that there is no mention of chemistry, biology, folk studies, communications, school psychology. We want to build awareness that WKU offers high quality graduate programs. It starts with that. And with that in mind, in spring of this year, marketing and communications invested $20,500. We had 3 strategies in mind. One was a pay-per-click, Google Ads. The second was geo-targeting locations with a 75-mile radius surrounding Bowling Green. And the third one was a social media behavioral A/B testing campaign. These are some display ads. You'll notice that the sizes are different because Facebook, Instagram, etc., have different expectations for their graphics. And that's just showing you the repertoire of display ads that we used to showcase our graduate programs. So we're using the strategic plan idea of climb higher. The hashtag climb higher is something that has been recommended by marketing and communications. And so we want to ensure that if these ads go out with hashtag climb higher, they'll see information about graduate school as well. And so we have been very strategic with the limited dollars, and we have worked with marketing and communications. We're hoping to kick off the campaign earlier this fall and again in spring. And these PPCs, display ads, social media behavioral targets have allowed us to focus more on where the best ROI is, return on investments. And so we're going to focus that. It was a pilot project for last year, and now we are going to focus from the data that we have. We know for a matter of fact, as of July 20th, I believe, that we got at least a minimum of 100 new graduate applications because of this display ads. So again, we are looking at data and then pivoting as to what is the best digital strategy that will give the highest ROI. Along the same lines, during the first year, when we had some fiscal challenges, we worked with marketing and communications. Their dollars were already committed for that particular year. So we focused on virtual recruitment fairs, and they were initiated for the first time during the fall semesters. And I used this 3-part series, and this is drawn upon my previous experiences at the University of South Dakota, USD. And we used these 3 recruitment fairs events as a pilot. It was focused on WKU undergraduate students. And then in the spring semester and the summer of 2021, we had 10 virtual recruitment fairs. And so there was a science behind how this is structured. So in my first year at USD, we did a bachelor's degree virtual recruitment fair. And that was and we did multiple. Often a question that came at the very first virtual recruitment fair is, we talk about, well, you have to submit your transcripts, you have to submit your CV, and then they stop, Dr. Kudali, just what is that word? And so an idea went, we need to have a virtual resume workshop. And it was striking that when we did the workshop, or the recruitment fair on October the 14th, 2020, and when Dr. Gordon was talking about applications, assistantships, when we mentioned resume and CV, oh, can you tell me what a CV is? We say, well, wait for a moment. Take this But this time, October the 28th, 2 weeks from now, if you come, you will know how to prepare a high quality resume. So we use the hook, the recruitment fair, but we also help students build a high quality resume that they could use to apply here, elsewhere, or for their internship. And then they ask some specific questions. Biology, what are the chances for getting? Well, we tell them in a couple of weeks from now, we will have faculty from the programs coming. So this is against evidence-based practices. And I like to work on any project that has a high ROI. I'd like to go back to this model. We have some competing priorities, and so we did not do this model. This worked great at USD and at WKU, and Dr. Gordon, I'm sure, will agree with my assertion, this three-step approach where one activity builds upon to a future event, and then ultimately we have faculty come as a round table and talk about their programs. So that was what we did in fall, focused on WKU, talking about our JUMP programs, and hoping that will spur interest in our graduate programs. In the spring semesters, these are just some sample. We partnered with military students, Mr. Ken Johnson, we are grateful to him. And we also partnered with alumni. They have a database of students, not all have graduate degrees or credentials. So we built relations in the fall semester with Alumni Association. I'm grateful to Dr. Anthony McAdoo and in particular Ms. Laura Smith, who worked closely with Dr. Gordon. So again, partnership, collaboration is key to the success of this institution. We also had a diversity in graduate education info fair, focusing our efforts, building relationships with the ISIS. And how did we hook the students on February 24th? We started a diversity in graduate education, a symposium, a mini symposium on February the 17th. So again, we always have some events as a hook, and then we have a follow-up recruitment fair as and when possible. So these are just some samples from our spring 2021. And these are, again, we know that we have a lot of employees who pursue graduate studies. Not all of them know about the tuition discount available. And so targeting WKU faculty and staff, Dr. Gordon and I went to a staff senate meeting, and we informed them that in a week or a couple of weeks, there is a virtual recruitment fair during the lunch hour for WKU faculty and staff. So again, we used a hook and an anchor to inform our faculty and staff about the opportunities for advancement and monetary compensation. And then again, another roundtable later that semester. We pivoted a little bit in the fall of last year. We worked with the colleges, and these are 4 colleges that we worked with. We are going to shift away from the strategy, at least for this year. The ROI was not as high as we expected, and we want to be very mindful of the time and commitment of graduate program coordinators and upper level administrators in the college. So we're always flexible, nimble, looking for ideas to help programs grow in their graduate enrollment. And this is a diversity in graduate education conference that we started. Also targeting students to apply for our graduate students, and these will be continued next year as well and in person. So again, we organize an event and then hook them up with information about a fair that comes up next year. Again, we built a relationship with the Legion member, Mr. George Nichols, and also his wife, Mrs. Cynthia Nichols. And so again, building relationship is the key to the success of this institution. A program that we administer is the Distinguished Minority Fellows Program. And I love this slide. This was a pinning ceremony about 2 Fridays back. And that picture of the DMF scholar Tashanda with her mom is just telling of the joy that both mom and daughter have in being part of this great institution. The event was giving these new inductees a pin saying that they are a DMF scholar. But look at the joy on Tashanda's face. Look at the joy on her mom's face. beautifully captured by Mr. Clinton Lewis. Just imagine 2 years from now, she'll be walking across the stage. What a moment it'll be for her and her family, right? And so the DMF program provides opportunities for students to get gainful employment, assistantship, and full tuition waiver. And it's really great to be part of this team with Roderick Mall, who many in the College of Education and Behavioral Sciences will recognize as an EDD student, and Mr. Anthony Mathis, who's an MBA student in the Gordon Ford College of Business. We did not coordinate our tie collection that day, but I love this picture where 3 of us are looking in awe at the faces of the student and their family member or mentor who are given the honor of putting the pin on a student. I'd like to take a moment to talk about the Meyerhoff Scholars Program. I'm not sure how many of you know of this. This is a national model, especially for STEM undergraduate students, now expanded to graduate students. And my good colleague, Dr. Janet Rutledge, is the Dean of the Graduate School at the University of Maryland, Baltimore County. The success of the scholarship program is due to 13 key principles. We actually, it turns out, excepting for 3, 5, and 8, we are doing that in the DMF program. So we are hoping to expand this. I have been doing it incrementally from 14 to 15 to 16 students, given the tight budgetary challenges. But I would like our program to be modeled along the Meyerhoff Scholars Program. And we are working with philanthropy and alumni engagement to seek private donors to increase our number of distinguished minority fellows. That is the vision I have. I visit with them every month at least once and have not missed a meeting ever so. This is a great group of 16 students, talented, passionate, and it is very rewarding for me personally being part of the DMF program and administering this. Ms. Renee Purdy does a great job in applying the graduate assistantship tuition waiver, and I'm grateful for her as well, and also Dr. Gregory Ellis Griffith, who is the DMF coordinator. Again, we have a team of 2 graduate ambassadors, a program coordinator, and an associate provost for graduate education, helping 16 talented DMF students go through the complexities of graduate education, help them cross the finish line. So why are we doing virtual recruitment fair? The President Biden has said that the pandemic is over just a couple of days ago. But evidence from Hanover research suggests that we have to have these, or it is prudent to have these virtual, and it'll be part of an integral part. What I did not say is, at many times, students are unable to honor their commitment to the virtual recruitment fair, but they send a Calendly link to Dr. Gordon, and he has one-on-one 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 1-hour conversations and building personal relationships. So this virtual recruitment fair could be through an individual Zoom link or a larger Zoom room with participants from across the campus. But it's going to be integral to our success of our recruitment activities, and hybrid approaches are going to deliver more ROI. So Dr. Gordon had started making trips since last year when recruitment fairs, even in person, open, but we are going to augment that with very carefully chosen virtual recruitment fairs that may be a dedicated recruitment fair for a college or for a program, but also individual private Zoom sessions with Dr. Gordon. Now I'll take some time to talk about efforts that we have done in terms of recruitment. I'm not sure how many of you know about the abbreviation CRM. It stands for Customer Relationships Management. I'll just give you an example. Several years ago, when my colleague, the dean of the School of Education at the University of South Dakota, passed away, I donated a nominal amount. It was a tradition among the deans at that institute to donate money to a charity of cause of their loved ones. So I donated a one-time donation to the School of Education. And to this day, I get 3 postcards, one in July for my birthday, another during Thanksgiving, and another during Christmas and the New Year. So that is what CRM is. You go to an event, virtual, in person, your information is captured there, and you maintain relationships. So what we have done is we have focused on using a software called Slate, which we purchased several years ago. And it has 2 components, a Slate application and a Slate CRM. The CRM drives engagement with a prospective student. And Dr. Gordon, myself, ITS, worked to develop the CRM. We rolled it in 8 months. It took undergraduate admissions 19 months. We get things done here in the Graduate School and Office of Research. We used a standardized 3 email drip marketing campaign, and I'll come to the details in a moment. It's a drip campaign because we don't want to write a master's thesis and tell the student the chemistry program at WKU is the best. A student submits a form called Request More Information or an inquiry form. Within 2 minutes, they get an email, high-level details from me as the Associate Provost for Graduate Education. On day 4, they get program-specific information curated from the website, research activities that I am aware of, with contact information about the graduate program coordinator. And on the 11th day, the final touch point is Dr. Scott Gordon. He sends his Calendly link, his personal telephone number, and so we build the relationship. I haven't asked for each of you. If you're interested in improving the content for the second email, please send an email to Dr. Scott Gordon. In the interest of time, to get the Slate CRM 3 email drip campaign going and started, we curated contents from the graduate catalog, the website, the WKU news, etc. Obviously, if we need to keep those contents current, we need help from you. You know your students well, right? So please contact Dr. Scott Gordon and provide him pictures, information about scholarships garnered by the students, any accomplishments, a paper or a publication, and we will improve the second email that has program-specific content, right? So that is the homework for each of you. We had to roll out 89 programs, and we send an email, you know how that works. And so we had to do it in the interest of time. What we have also done is Dr. Gordon shares this inquiry form data with graduate program coordinators in a timely manner. So you have the name, first name, last name, email address, sometimes telephone number, and the programs of interest. The purpose is for you to build those relationships. We know we are a generalist, right? You are a specialist. You know the strengths of your program. And so we are trying to share as much data with you so that you can use that to maintain personal contact or connect with the student and talk about your programs. And our staff is capturing and entering prospective student information using the Slate inquiry form. So what you see on the right is the inquiry form. If you go to our homepage, landing page, you'll see this form. We ask you, if any student contacts you by phone, email, walks in your office, please nudge them to complete this information form. That is the first ask. The second ask is, I strongly encourage you to have this in your homepage, graduate homepage. If you want that, Dr. Gordon will offer this service free. Please have this inquiry form on your website as well. So the point is, we don't want students to click too many things. We all know, right? If we go to Amazon, and I'm not finding it after a few clicks from a certain vendor, I move on. And that's what graduate students do as well, or prospective students. So 2 asks is, 1, content for the email drip email 2. Please work with Dr. Gordon. It's your program. We will copy, paste, curate, and use those. Second, for you to consider is have this RMI on your home page. So this way they don't have to go to the graduate homepage and submit this RMI. And why are we using these 3 email campaigns? Because this is what Keystone suggested. When you're building a CRM, it's hard to build a 10 email campaigns for 89 programs with just one individual doing 1,000 things. Keystone suggested in 2021 that this is a good approach, a good balance where key information is presented to the students in a timely manner, drip by drip by drip. That's why it's called a 3 email drip campaign. At the University of South Dakota, I had a team, a large team. We had a 5 email campaign, and some programs wanted 6 email campaigns, but we had a full-time marketing specialist. We had 3 full-time graduate program coordinators. We had a director of graduate admissions. So we had time and personnel to devote. We did not have that luxury. So again, contact Dr. Gordon for the interest in inquiry form on your main graduate homepage and for contents for your second email drip campaign. We have come up with a standard operating procedure for our campaigns. We have rolled out several campaigns starting late last fall and early this spring, and it's going on. We have classified this into 4 groups: a prospective student who calls us, walks into our office or emails us, has not submitted an application, we nudge them to complete an RMI. And that is the ask I have for you. RMI is request more information so we can capture that information in our CRM or database. Incomplete application, we nudge them through emails. The students get an email every week. It is automated and it's customized to each student. What I mean by that is if a graduate student in a program is missing an official transcript, that will be marked. If another student is missing 1 letter of recommendation, that student will be told you're missing this. It's highly customized, and that has been automated well before I came. So that has been already there. What we have developed are Slate email campaigns for individuals who have not yet completed an application. We also rolled out a text Slate email campaign earlier this summer. The ROI is not high, but at least we get their attention. And then if students don't respond, the last option is phone call. We have not yet knocked them at their home yet. But we're trying every modes of communication. They're called omni-channels, and that's what we have accomplished, most of it during this year. Then we have students who are admitted, not enrolled. So we do these emails through Slate, text, and phone call. We want them, an admitted student, to be enrolled. That is called yield. Our yield for this fall has increased by 3.2%. More students have enrolled this year by 3.2%. Our conversion is converting a prospective student to an admitted student. Obviously, some will be denied application. Our conversion percentage has increased by 1%, whereas the yield by 3.2%. As I said, I'm a data-driven person. And then we have returning students. Students, sometimes life happens, they forget to enroll. They do not have to reapply if they are within their 3 terms. And so for those, we separate them into 2 groups, those with holes and those who have some holes. We ask them, what are your challenges? Are they financial? We provide them. I visited with at least 3 students that I know of and provided with assistantship regarding their tuition waiver, and they're enrolled in this fall semester. That's a risk I don't want to take. And so the last phase of this campaign that is detail-oriented, that consumes a lot of time, is complete your graduate credential. We met with Dr. Jennifer Hammonds and from ACDC, Mr. Christopher Jensen, and we would like to work on this. this has to be done very carefully. We have ideas, and so we have to initiate this, but it's something that we will get to pretty soon. So we have codified these campaigns. We have written standard operating procedures for these campaigns, who does what, when, before the start of the semester. And so I'm very proud of what we have accomplished, especially this year. This is a snapshot from CRM, just telling you how we can get some data. So F22 is fall 22, returning student campaign who have no holes. So on August the 2nd, 20 days before classes start, we loaded records. So we have to go to InfoView, download records from there, upload to Slate. And we sent to 468 students. That's this sent that you see here. Some of them have had wrong email addresses or no longer active. That happens. That percentage is 1.9%. And 544 is open. So we can really know how many opened their email, open through rates, OTR. And that's what the CRMs do. An Outlook email to 468 people will provide us with no data. And we had some unique clicks in that, so we can actually even check how many clicks. Now these opens are not unique opens. So the unique opens are 235. Of the 468, 235 individuals, half of them, which is really great, opened those. And then some bounces, spans, etc. So Slate allows this granular data, and we are increasingly using Slate for our communication efforts. And so I'm really proud of the work that we did. And I'm truly, truly grateful for undergraduate admissions, in particular, Mr. Brian Campbell, Ms. Labrisha McKinney, Ms. Morgan Gossett, and Ms. Allison Campbell. We met from spring until early summer, every 2 weeks. They had developed CRM earlier than us. We had knowledge, but we worked with them, and both Ms. Lizzie Dorr and Dr. Scott Gordon learned new tricks of the trade, and now we have become fairly proficient in this very complex software. All right. Just to build upon graduate enrollment strategies, we have a graduate program checklist created with graduate program coordinators. I had shared this with one of the Spring Graduate Council agenda. And I had mentioned this at the Graduate Council agenda at meeting last time, but all the enrollment data is in this university shared folder. I believe in sharing the data. Any faculty staff can go to this link and look at enrollment data that is sent by Dr. Tuesday Helbig and her amazing team every week leading up to the census. We are copied on a mass email on a Friday or a Saturday, Sunday, or a Monday, but that data related to graduate enrollment is in a shared university folder, and I'm deeply grateful to Dr. Helbig for helping us. There are 2 other PowerPoint slides I had shared with graduate council members, and if you need these, I will share with you as well. What I have on the right is a screenshot from our visual analytics, and I have access to these folders, and I've highlighted the graduate school. If any of you would like data on a daily basis, please send an email to Dr. Tuesday Helbig. She is amazing and wonderful, and she can provide you with training, and you can get data on a daily basis from these folders. You can look at admissions, you can look at applications, you can look at enrollments, etc. Like I said, every day I wake up and look at that numbers. It's 2054 today, at least in the morning. So again, look at this shared folder, S-Drive, and if you additionally need access to visual analytics, Dr. Helbig is the go-to person. I strongly recommend this to graduate program coordinators, deans, and department heads. This is a snapshot taken yesterday from visual analytics. This is one of those folders there. My focus is to increase the number of applications. And so we just rolled out the digital marketing just in spring. We have some evidence that at least 100 applications as of July 20th. So we're trying to augment our digital marketing strategy. I'll come to that. Our Conversion is the ratio of admitted students to applied. It's up by 3.2%, and our yield is up by 1%. So you get all this longitudinal data compared to previous years. Census data is also available. Since we have not reached the census data, I've used the fall current week. It's rich in data, visually appealing, and at your fingertips, you can really look. And for me, it allows me to work closely with Ms. Lizzie Dorr and Dr. Gordon and look at where we should direct our marketing efforts. Should it be to the incomplete applications, or should it be to students who are admitted but not enrolled? So I look at these data every day, and so does many of our team members. So what lies ahead for recruitment strategies? We have Slate CRM built. Now we have to increase the top of the funnel. Admits to enrolled is yield. Applicants to admits is conversion. Inquiries, we have done the RMI form. I come asking you to think about having an RMI form in your graduate program homepage and nudging every student to complete an RMI. So we can capture the data, we can do our marketing campaigns, and we can improve the contents as well in the email drip campaign too. We need to increase the top of the funnel. We need to do name buying. We don't have financial resources, but thankfully, 2 of them in black font are free to us. Western Kentucky University has joined the National Name Exchange a few weeks ago. This is a database of underrepresented minorities managed by the Council of Graduate Schools. I serve as the NNE coordinator for this institution. And we have names of thousands of students, and we shall do a Slate email campaign targeting those students. I've provided preliminary information to Dr. Gordon. The deadline for students to complete their nominations or their names to this database was September the 15th. So I'm just waiting, and we will roll out a campaign with those databases. It's free, and so we'll do that. CGS also provides annually a McNair Scholarship database. And since we did not have a fully functional Slate CRM, we did not use that database. We will make use of that this fall. So that should help us reach out to more diverse student population, because that is one of our goals. Just yesterday, I visited with the ETS team. They have a new product. I'm not at liberty to announce it. It will be announced at the GRE board meeting that I shall attend, October 6th to 8th, so I cannot tell. It has combination of graduate school math, GRE search service, and TOEFL search. And they provided, they wanted a feedback from me. And so if any of you are interested, please do let me know to make use of this. Incidentally, Dr. Gordon should be commended for cleaning up our graduate school match. It's graduateschoolmatch.com was a product or a website purchased by GRE. It was maintained by faculty from, I believe, Emory University of Tufts. And so it has a database of students, including international. And so these cost money, but they're willing to provide a discount to us, ETS. Also, we will have Liaison International visit with campus and conduct a total enrollment workshop for free on October the 12th. So I had sent out an email to the deans asking them about their availability. So the point I'm trying to say is we spent time on building our Slate CRM, contacting applicants, contacting admitted students, asking our students to re-enroll, but we have not focused on the top of the funnel because we did not have resources or the time as well. Now is the time to use the strong foundation and build the top of the funnel. And that's what we will be doing in addition to what we have done in previous years. So that is the vision that I would like to, that is something that we are going to do this year. Where I would like this to head is here. This is a recruitment strategy that my dear friend, Dean Julie Masterson from Missouri State University, uses. They use Liaison International for Slate CRM and Slate marketing, digital marketing. We're doing the lead generation, digital marketing, website inquiry leads, events, all leading to a form fill. Their dynamic form fill is as shown in this. We also have from our website, I've shared a screenshot. We are doing all of this, other lead sources. So the key is for you to tell a student to complete that inquiry form. That triggers a lot of subsequent touch points. Missouri State, in addition, builds a personalized microsite for each of these individuals who completes this dynamic form. That is where I would like to go. So if there is a prospective student, and I'll take an example, they will get curated content related to their program. That is the vision I have. We are not yet there, but I would like to get us with a third-party service. Liaison International, like I said, is coming to campus with a team of 4 members. They are not going to sell us a product. They're going to make an inventory of our capabilities and provide us with a report as to how you can grow graduate enrollment. This is something that I know they do. And they have this product called EMP, Enrollment Management Platform. So this can go, if it is a tech, it's an email, it goes like this, etc. So I would like for us to work collaboratively and come up with this personalized microsite. And this has been going on since a few years in several institutions, and we are behind the curve. But that's where I would like our recruitment strategies to head. So how do we put all these phases of enrollment in one cohesive, holistic manner? And that's where the graduate enrollment management plan comes. Dave Brown has seen this PowerPoint not once, but twice at a Council of Academic Deans meeting. So this is a service that I'm willing to do step up, but I'm going to talk to Dean Terrence Brown as a pilot at the October 10th graduate coordinators meeting. So I think you have a slide, Dr. Farrell, of this. I would ask Dean to share. What is my vision? We need to put our ideas together. I think there is a lot of duplication of effort. One hand not knowing what the other hand is doing. Now is the time for each of us to hold our hands together with a singular vision to improve enrollment in our programs and attract high quality and diverse students. And I'm willing to lead in that cause. This is built on a logic model. I like logic models. It has input, strategies, outputs, outcomes, and impacts. If you're in the College of Education, you will like logic models. That's all right. I see Dr. Byrne is shaking her hands. And I love it because any pilot program, I use a logic model. I need to make an impact. For an impact, I need an outcome. For an outcome, I need a product or an output. For an output, I need a plan or a strategy or a tactical plan. And for that plan, we need inputs, people, data, etc. So that's this inputs. The inputs are each of us in this. Stakeholders from all offices, Goya, graduate school, colleges at multiple levels, academic affairs marketing, university marketing, so we don't duplicate what they are doing. Philanthropy, they have databases, they know alumni. That's the input. Data is also an input. I want to add this in the slide. And then we need to identify strategies. Who is doing what? So we don't duplicate. We have limited resources of time, money, and then we can work together and identify strategies that are the priority of the deans and department heads. And the outputs should lead to a redesigned website with search engine optimization. You'll see SEO as key. 24% of the students apply based on a website that informs them of the outcomes from their programs. Enhanced communication plan will be an output. Brochures, flyers, information sheets, etc. And ultimately, we'll get a unified strategic graduate enrollment plan per the vision that you have, the deans have. I'm just a facilitator. We are a support unit or a service unit. That's the vision I have. And the outcomes will be this: increase in operational efficiencies, increase opportunities to even recruit high quality faculty. We have a high quality graduate program that is a recruitment tool for a faculty as well. Improvement in processes and procedures, effective and strategic use of institutional resources. All these should lead to an impact. Improved visibility of WKU graduate programs. This ties back to the strategic plan, climbing to greater heights. It has been noted that we need to enhance the visibility, and this is one approach, a unified, holistic graduate enrollment management plan. As I say, it is germ of an idea. So the other things we've been doing is more graduate student orientations we have completely streamlined it. We have made it short, just 2 hours. We do it both in the fall and spring. We had for the first time in my history here, it was in person and there was a lot of energy. It was great to see a number of students in person as well, and some of you joined virtually as well. Where I would like this orientation to go is modeled along the University of Washington, where they have developed a U501 course, a 0 credit course for all admitted students with online modules. So every student who is admitted is enrolled in this Canvas is their learning management system, akin to our Blackboard, and they get a tool, they have modules there, how to be successful in graduate school, short snippet videos, audios, etc. And this is a project that we just I don't have time. It will lean upon staff expertise across other units on campus, but this is the vision that I have with our orientation. Develop a graduate school orientation online module that is self-guided, and students can, at their own pace, learn about WKU. What we do now is we send 3 emails prior to the orientation. We send email number 1, slate number 1 email is with high-level information about some of the things, bookstores, how to enroll in classes, etc. And then the second email has more information about university resources. And the third email is just a friendly reminder on the day of the orientation about the event. Ultimately, I'd like to expand that and go to this online module where students can learn about what it takes to come to Bowling Green, to find a house, to get an ID card once on campus, how to enroll in courses, etc. That's the vision I have. We had a large meeting in fall of 2020 with several stakeholders, and I have the framework for the module, 5 modules with topics, but we just don't have staffing resources on campus. I'd like to work with CITO and develop this when there is stability in our operations. Dr. Colette Shelf and along with Dr. Hammonds worked incredibly hard to develop degree works for undergraduate and graduate students, and I'm grateful to both of them. This has helped the advising process very well, and Ms. Lisa Myers helps students, faculty, and staff navigate the challenges with degree work. So this, again, is another software that the university has invested in student success, and we were able to roll this out in fall of last year. I'm passionate about graduate student professional development. Just as an example, the Office of Research and Creative Activity in the Graduate School hosted, co-hosted, supported 40 events during the academic year, August 2021 to May 2022. We have 32 weeks in a semester, 2 weeks of finals, and we hosted 40 events, working collaboratively across units on campus, and I'm truly proud of our accomplishments. The career goals, my IDP, Dr. Larry Hill knows very well. He has embraced this. And I started this my IDP workshops since 2017. We had a National Science Foundation Graduate Research Traineeship grant that just ended August 31st of this year. And so in 2017, I rolled out the first MyIDP plan. Chemistry and math here have also incorporated that in their seminar series. And why is this important? Well, the cover you see in the middle is a report from the National Association of Academies, I should say, National Academies of Sciences, Engineering, and Medicine. And they had provided a report, Graduate STEM Education for the 21st Century. It was published in 2018, a year after I started MyIDP. And in their report, they say that creating an individual development plan is a key feature for students to learn for their learning and career goals. I encourage especially STEM programs to reach out to me so I can expand the MyIDP services to other units on campus. I'm also interested in developing an IDP for humanities, but I don't have the knowledge base, and I would welcome collaborative efforts from the Potter College of Arts and Letters to develop an IDP plan for humanities college that will help, I should say, in retention and persistence. So I'm proud of what I've done for the past 6 years, and I've given a seminar at a National Professional Science Masters conference last year. It turns out that WKU at that time was the only master's comprehensive regional institution developing MyIDPs for their students. So we are in a unique company here, and I'm proud of that. What I would like the MyIDP to develop is leading to a micro-credential workshop, micro-credentials, leading to a certificate, and professional workshops, boot camps, internship, and careers. I developed all of this as part of the NSF NRT grant at the University of South Dakota, and I'd like to offer those services to interested programs and colleges here as well. I'll pivot a little to the graduate student research grants. That is another professional development opportunity, and it's been truly a privilege and honor in working with the Graduate Council Research Committee. Dr. Bonus, the past chair, is here, and I truly loved working with her, and now I look forward to working with Dr. Katrina Birch, Dr. Marla Zabel, and Dr. Lily Juha. They're fantastic faculty to work with. Despite the freeze of the FUSE and the RCAP grants during 2021, we were able to support graduate research grants, and I'm proud of my advocacy parts to upper level administration. This year, we just sent an email about the research and travel grants. The deadlines will be the second Tuesday in October and the first Tuesday in spring. So this way you don't have to worry when is the date, etc. We have one form, and you could apply for research and travel, or research only, or travel only. And hopefully we'll be able to increase the awards. We have seen a decline in the number of proposal submissions, and so we strongly encourage each of you to talk about and publicize the opportunities for graduate students. We also do a professional development workshop, and this is a pitch for a workshop on Sunday with Dr. Birch. I sent out a campus-wide email, at least 2. And so it's really great working with this amazing Graduate Council research members that also include Dr. Lickenbrock and Dr. Oakes. So please inform students in your programs. Students need not necessarily be in a master's in a thesis or an MA in thesis. You have an idea, a project, please encourage them. It's a nice opportunity to put the ability to write is an art. And I think graduate students should have that opportunity. And we are here to provide critiques and help them how to write successful internal graduate research grants. We also do this workshop for students, a GRE strategy workshop, and Miss Catherine Schultz, who loves white squirrels, by the way, has been on campus, had a conversation with her yesterday. We'll come up with a new date for fall 2022. So that's, again, relationships built with ETS. They do this nationally, but they're willing to do something in a small city with WKU undergraduate and graduate students. We instituted the 3-minute thesis competition that is funded by the University of Queensland virtually in 2021. And in person in 2022, Jane Brown gave the certificate to Whitney Hope, and she was with me when she made the presentation at the Midwestern Association of Graduate Schools representing WKU. Again, that is visibility to WKU. I served as chair of MAX that year, and Ms. Kelly Duchette won the competition in the previous year. So we will have the 3-minute thesis competition that provides opportunities for graduate students to hone their oral communication skills. We get assistance from Dr. Lauren Bland and Mr. Gary Houchins to help us, help students know how to provide a compelling 3-minute presentation. So we'll continue these efforts this year as well. What we also do is help with the graduate student mental health and well-being. We partnered with the Counseling Center and rolled out the series called GradWell, Graduate Wellness. We're grateful to Dr. Carl Lavis, Dr. Masami Matsuyuki, and Dr. Peggy Crow. We had a meeting about a couple of weeks back along with Samantha, and we're working on workshop plans for this fall and the spring. And I'm truly grateful for this partnership with the Counseling Center team. So look out for emails about the GradWell series. We started this in 2020. Well, in 2021, the Council of Graduate Schools released a framework and a report. They partnered with a foundation called JED, and they released a report, and they said that graduate student mental health and well-being is at an all-time low, particularly exacerbated by the COVID pandemic. This report was published just before December, and not surprisingly, WKU is signatory to this. So before this report came, we rolled out the GradWell series. So I'm ahead of the curve in terms of graduate education. Before changes happen in the nation, or NASM comes with a report within my IDP, and likewise, before CGS came up with a seminal report, we had the GradWell series launched here at WKU. And so we're going to expand our suite of workshops. We got quality feedback from students, and we're going to look at this data on Monday at 9 a.m. with Sam, and we'll get back to the Counseling Center as to what workshops we should offer to students in fall and spring. We also started the Graduate Student Appreciation Week, recognizing our Minton awardees, our Gaddy awardees, Graduate Student Research Grant recipients, and our 3MT awards. We are invested in the success of graduate students. Any opportunity for their professional development, mental health, and well-being and appreciation is something that I'm deeply, deeply passionate about. This is Ms. Ava Ferguson, who is a Minton awardee. And she is the first graduate student featured in this Grad Impact project unveiled by Dr. Suzanne Ortega. The first student from the Commonwealth of Kentucky to be featured in the Grad Impact Gallery. So my ask to you is, if you know of a talented graduate student who has worked on a project, not necessarily a thesis, that has made a societal impact, please give their name, the project that they pursued, and a picture. We will try to update this. The more that we have of our students in our Impact Gallery is, again, lends credence to the high quality of students we have, the high quality of training that each of you provide, and enhances the visibility and reputation of WKU. In the Grad Impact Gallery, there are no, to my knowledge, when I submitted this, there were no other graduate students from the Commonwealth of Kentucky. So we need to stand out and show that we have great graduate programs and outstanding graduate students. And I'll facilitate that. For faculty too, we have launched a new series called GradLearn. And we had 4 GradLearn series. 2 were focused on graduate admissions, and so I did not repeat one of the flyers. So we have the first one on holistic admission practices. Dr. Steve Matson is a former dean of the graduate school and from UNC Chapel Hill. And I know him quite well, a personal friend of mine. And we also worked with ETS to talk about TOEFL and how we can expand our international reach as we were coming out from the pandemic. We also had a grad loan series regarding professional science master's program. That is an opportunity we should capitalize upon. There are no PSM programs in the Commonwealth of Kentucky, and so I built relationships with Ms. Linda, Dr. Linda Straubald, Scott Hernandez, Jerry, Gerald Grunwald, and Tim Vaughn. And a recording of this is on our YouTube. If you're interested in PSMs, please do contact me. I know of any of these individuals are willing to work collaboratively with us to develop PSM programs. The engineering management, I think, is a great program to think about. And Dr. Blankenship and I had many conversations about the Masters of Science in Analytics and Cybersecurity. So we need to think how we can stand apart and showcase our graduate programs from the rest in the Commonwealth. As a service, Dr. Gordon is part of the NAGAP on the research committee, and he brings that knowledge to us. And I serve on various associations, the CGS, the GRE board, the TOEFL board. I'll be the chair-elect from November, and I serve on the Midwest. So these activities provide me with information about evidence-based practices at other institutions. It allows me to network with key stakeholders from multiple universities across the world. I should say TOEFL is an international board, is international membership. And so collectively, the knowledge that we bring helps us advance graduate education and spur innovation here at Western Kentucky University. In closing, it's been a privilege and honor for me to serve as your Associate Provost for Graduate Education. As these slides indicate, we have built bridges, but there are opportunities for us to come together, build bridges, and to help WKU to climb to greater heights. And to that, we remain fully committed in the graduate school. Again, I'm deeply appreciative of your time and effort on a Friday afternoon, joining with us in person or virtually, and I'll be delighted to take questions and comments from each of you. Thank you for your patience. So if you have my Zoom, please feel free to post your questions in the chat between Sam and myself. We will respond to your questions that you may have. But I welcome comments, questions, comments, feedback, criticisms, appreciation even from any of you. Yes, Dr. Hill. We will have the YouTube recording shared, and I can also share the PowerPoint as well as soon as they're processed. I will share that as well. I will do so. Absolutely. Thank you for your feedback, Dr. Hill. Yes. Could I speak a little bit louder? So the question was, how do we go about in doing a website search engine optimization, right? So please send an email to University Marketing and Communications. We worked with Ms. Aurelia Spalding. As we speak, she's actually helping the Office of Research with a few web links. So she will do a web audit, look at which of those, which of your web pages and links are having high traffic, and provide you with guidance. And we might discuss some of it in our October 10th meeting as well. But it's a great question. It starts with building a website and having key elements such as how long will it take, how much will it cost, and what is the outcome? What is in it for me when I get a master's in communication studies? And so the University Marketing and Communications is a great place to build your website. Everyone is tired. It's a Friday, 5 o'clock. Yes, Dr. Farrell.
Thank you. I can't remember if it was a grad council meeting or one of your programs last year. I was just reminded in terms of recruitment and the different places where students are finding out about our programs. I had suggested maybe on the application adding a question about how did you find out about our program, because that would be fabulous data, I think, for all of us. It is in process. Great.
Yes.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you so
much. Thank you for the feedback. This is precisely what such meetings and encounters help us, right? Yes, Dr. Webb, please go ahead.
I must admit, watching your presentation made me think about this from a slightly different logistical perspective than I normally do. When a student decides to apply, they get on the web page and they start the application process. How long does it actually take them on the average, do you know, to actually submit an application, assuming they have all the documentation?
Ms. Julie Harris.
But generally 10 to 15 minutes to go through the app.
Okay, all right. So then the flip side is the student has completed, uploaded all of it. You've gotten it ready for review. How long on the average does it take a department to make a decision?
So that varies, Dr. Webb. We have rolling admissions in many programs where there is unlimited seat capacity, right? An MBA program would be an example. In some programs, assistantships are limited, and instead of an individual, it is a committee that will meet at a given time. Let's say a doctorate in physical therapy. We have 30 seats, each cohort, a 3-year program. And so Dr. Courtney was here previously. So the committee, their application is already, it opened in summer. It's a highly competitive program. And they are going to meet in November, December. November will shut off. And they will screen applicants in the first round. And then they'll have interviews with selected candidates, and they'll have a wait list. So for competitive programs, each program has developed their own system, and communications will roll out by January first week or so. Okay. And so that is an example of a competitive program. Dr. Farrell, you want to talk a little bit about your program, how you meet as a committee, if I understand, right?
We do, and we have rolling admissions, and we make decisions pretty quickly. I know sometimes the report that we get, I guess one of the, occasionally there'll be somebody who actually doesn't finish their application, and we get asked to make a decision, but we can't make a decision because some of their materials come to me. So that's a different issue. But when we have everything, we make decisions within a week or two at the most.
So what we do, Dr. Webb, is we have automated banner reports. Every Monday or Tuesday, a report goes to the student as to what checklist items are missing. And it's customized to that student's program. And so the student knows at any given time, oh, well, Two letters of recommendation has been submitted to me. The third one is. And so they contact that individual and they nudge a letter to be submitted. In addition, program coordinators get an email twice a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays, customized to their program. And in that report, it has all students who have been admitted to that term. So you have details of the student's name and email address. So the intent is for the program coordinator to build that personal relationship and to convert that admittance into an enrollment, and that is the yield, right? Julie, me, Barbara, Scott, Lizzie just does not have the time to contact 4,000 students, right? So that report on Tuesday and Thursdays is to build that personal connection. So that is students who are admitted. Students who have incomplete applications are also captured in that report, but as Dr. Farrell rightly pointed out, you can't review their application, but they're getting weekly automated emails so that they complete their application. And then you also have, those are also in department for review. So if applications are pending for more than 2 weeks in a program, the program coordinator gets a cumulative list of the applications. And starting a few months ago, the deans are copied on that report as well. So the deans can say, hello, what is happening? We want to improve our graduate enrollment. And there's evidence to suggest that graduate students make a decision. I forgot the percentage, it's a high number. They get enrolled in the first program of choice. So it is incumbent upon us to make decisions as quickly as possible. For example, if you look at this slide, I'll go to the visual data analytics. And that's a great question. So we'll look at this slide. I have to share it with the Zoom people here. So this is from data analytics. So let's take, this was as of yesterday. So let's look at year 2022. 1,599 people applied for fall of this term. 929 were admitted, of which another 184 of students had their applications incomplete. The vast majority, Dr. Webb, are not interested in coming to WKU. Those could be a student who just is not responsive to all our phone calls, emails, and they just show no interest. They have accepted a job, they have been accepted to another graduate program. But what we are doing, or what Dr. Gordon has done, is he has looked at those students and he has looked at those that are in programs that have BITERM classes starting in October 17th. There's a good chance that some of them are may want to enroll in the BITERM. So we are very careful in contacting those 184 students. The pending complete is 21, which means that we have 21 applications for students who have expressed interest in joining in fall at the departmental level. So that number 21 is lower compared to 52 last year. The 708 and 114 cumulatively 822 of these 929 students are enrolled in our program who applied for fall, and that is captured in this yield 72.8 plus 5.8. That is 78% in our yield, which is quite high. Almost 80% of our students enroll if they're admitted to us.